Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to welcome former Arsenal goalkeeper Lee Harper to the show. How you doing, Lee?
Yeah, very good, thank you.
Lee, pleasure to talk to you, and on a day where such huge news has come out. I mean, what do you make of Arsene Wenger's announcement that he is stepping down at the end of this current season?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of. I feel like there's a lot of sadness with the decision. In 1997, I obviously come into the club in 1996. In 1997, he gave me my debut and my only game in the first team away to Southampton. A 2-0 win on that day, and he's the man that gave me the opportunity to make my first appearance for the Arsenal. I'm an Arsenal fan. He then offered me a further extension to the contract for me to stay, and I decided not to do that. And I think, like, being an Arsenal fan, I know from my point of view, knowing how good he was in those first initial 10 years and how the team played football and the invincible team, etc. And I think it's sad because I feel like I think as an Arsenal fan, I think he could have possibly walked away a little while ago and left with his legacy at a level where he's not had to come under the scrutiny and some of the criticisms that he's received. And as I say, as an Arsenal fan, there's so much. I've always felt that you never really know whether is it Arsene or is it Mr. Kroenke not giving him the backing? Is it Arsene's stubbornness? And they leave you with those question marks in your head. But I would say that what he's given the football club on a whole, now's the time that they need to look at sending him off. Hopefully with a real big pat on the back and in some decent style, and all the fans get behind now and see the club hopefully on to Europa League glory. But all in all, I think it's the right decision for him to move on.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same. And, this morning I couldn't have imagined that I'd be seeing this news come up. And when I did, despite me repeatedly saying that, it's time for him to go and we've gone as far as we can. And, I didn't want him to ruin his legacy, like you said. But at the end of the day, I still can't help but feel sadness at hearing this news because, I'm 27 years old. Arsene Wenger is Arsenal for me. I barely remember much before Arsene Wenger came. And so for me, Arsene Wenger is Arsenal. And it's a really devastating news. I mean, from your experience, would you say he's the greatest you've played under?
I think initially when I've had the privilege, obviously George Graham signed me at Arsenal, and I think I'd say probably the top 4 or 5 managers of Arsenal Football Club, the Herbert Chapmans and the Arsene Wengers, and I think George Graham, has didn't quite get to Arsene Wenger's level in my opinion, but was another great Arsenal manager. I think he has to be ranked up there. Is probably the greatest Arsenal manager, and for the brand of football, for the change in everything that he brought in when he first came into the football club, into the way he took training sessions, the accuracy of the input that he had. Every small little detail wasn't left unturned from diet changes, and I don't think that was just a change within Arsenal. I think that change that gets around to every level of the game in this country, and it filters down eventually, and it's up the level of the game. And like you, I think it is a sad day, even though I'm one of those fans who felt, I just wanted him to move on. Because I could see his legacy being tarnished, because of what had been said by members of the board, etc., over the years about what was going to be done. And to move to the Emirates, we all believed that we would be competing with the very, very top teams. And I appreciate how difficult it is nowadays with Manchester City spending something like, I think, 400 million in just the Pep Guardiola reign itself.
Yeah.
You know, it is very difficult to keep up and spend that sort of money. But this is Arsenal Football Club, and you expect them to be competing, and you know, they haven't really been competing for a while now at the level that they should be. And I think he knows that as well. And I think, as I say, I think it's a sad day for Arsenal, and for someone like me and you who both feel that it's time to call it a day for quite a while. It is still sad. It's you know, he gave me my debut, so I'm
always
sad
had that association.
as well. So but I think it's, as I say, I think it's the right decision.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and I hope, like you mentioned as well, that we can go on and win the Europa League, and he gets the send off that he deserves, being such a great manager for the club. Now, Lee, we've been linked with various other managers. You know, people are talking about Brendan Rodgers, Carlo Ancelotti, Thomas Tuchel. Who would you like to see come in at Arsenal?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? I think you know what, I'm not sure. Maybe someone along the lines of an Ancelotti or an Allegri, even Massimo Allegri. I don't know, somebody who's got a huge presence, a huge stature to run such a big club like Arsenal, and someone who's going to first and foremost get some stability and some, you know, I'm not sure how much money's going to be. Obviously, there will be money for whoever comes in, I would have thought, but how much there's going to be in terms of levels of whether it's hundreds of millions or if it's 50 million or 100 million. But you know, this is the thing where, as a fan, I've never been sure how much Kroenke's to blame for Arsene's recent decline, because I was there under the David Dean Wenger teamwork, and David Dean played a huge role in everything that Arsene wanted and players that Arsene wanted, and I think now that someone maybe of the ilk of Allegri, maybe an Ancelotti, I just feel it's got to be someone with some real stature and who's gonna impose themselves with some big name players.
Yeah, completely agree. Lee, thank you so much, mate. I really, really appreciate that.